Hey, what's up, guys? Wanted to go ahead and finish the evolution of the open base. Here you see I'm taking my clan castle, which is a golem and two wall breakers and a barb. I send that in on the clan castle side and clean up some percentage buildings. The goal of this is to get whatever's in that clan castle out, and coming towards the bottom side of that, I guess, what do you call it, west to north side. I felt like maybe I didn't get close enough to the clan castle, so I open up the top and I'm going to drop a wall breaker in there just to be sure that if there's anything in there, it comes out. And there's nothing, which is good. So I'm going to attack from the bottom left. It was a hard choice. This is my first time attacking this base, so I thought I'd just give it a try. And seeing that there's one air defense stuck in the middle of that whole run, I wall break the top and I send a golem in with the idea of sending wizards behind him to kind of track behind him while the defenses shoot him and not the wizards. It kind of worked, kind of didn't. I did the same thing at the bottom. Um, and they do get all the buildings taken out, but the wizards all go down in the process. But anyway, I sent a peck in at the bottom because I'm getting worried about how many wizards I have left. Back him up with wizards. And then I'm going to rage and send wall breakers in to blow open that wall. And looking at the base, there's a lot of gaps in there for traps. Could I do this over? I would attack from the other side where it seemed like there were less traps to run into. So now everybody's in, the P.E.K.K.A.s, the heroes, the golems, and they're just going to work their way through the middle. And I froze that front Inferno and Expo, and then here along this backside, I left open those two Teslas, and they just cooked both of my P.E.K.K.A.s. But in the end, they almost got the town hall, I guess you could say, but it just didn't pan out. You know, the heroes split up from the golems and the P.E.K.K.A.s, and the king ends up by himself, and he goes down, and we're stuck at 47%. So pretty much an all-out fail. So I find the exact same base again, and I'm like, what could I do better? So this time I attack at the top of that run instead of towards the bottom. That way I'm closer to the clan castle, and I know for a fact if there's anything in there, my clan castle is going to pull it out. It turns out on this base that there's not anything in there, and I figure since there's not, while I'm here, I'm going to go ahead and clean up some percentage. And I think I blow open that wall, but I end up not sending anything in there because my golem is almost down, and I abandoned cleaning up those last three collectors to the west. Again, I'm going to come in from the west-south or southwest area, and I'm going to do the same thing because I like how the wizards cleaned it up. Even though they all end up going down, I did like having a lot of those buildings cleared out so that my P.E.K.K.A.s and my heroes don't cruise up and down that compartment instead of pushing into the middle. And at the top, they actually failed to get those three buildings up there, but since I opened up the bottom two, I'm pretty confident I can send my heroes and my P.E.K.K.A.s in there, and they won't track all the way to the top. They'll actually push into the middle to the next closest structure. So I wall broke, and it broke open both those sections, which was really weird because I dropped them in the same place, and I don't like how it does that. Anyway, the heroes are in, the P.E.K.K.A.s are in, all the golems are in, and single target Inferno, so I freeze it. I want those P.E.K.K.A.s and golems to stay alive as long as I can. And everybody's working their way through the base. I end up freezing the multi in the back, and because the single was about to go down, and it worked out perfect. I raged the king and queen in the center, and 50% 2-star at the same time. 50% and the town hall at the same time, so I got the 2 stars. And I just let it play out to see how much percentage I was going to get. Because the clan castle is empty, I got a lot more percentage than I should, and I think it tops out at 61%. But I would have been happy with just 50%, being as this was the second time I attacked this base. And as soon as this raid's over, I'm actually going to take us to a couple of war raid replays and let the video play out from there so you can see how I've evolved my attack strategy for those bases. Hey, what's up, guys? Just wanted to show you some more replays of open bases. This open base in particular, this style, this one isn't really all that tough because it's got 2 multi-target Infernos, but the next one I'm going to show you is actually really, really tough, and this base is super easy to fail on. So I'm just going to show you how I tackle it. So I'm going to do my lure with my clan castle. It's going to have the standard 2 wall breakers, barbarian, and a golem. And then I put 4 to 5 wizards to back him up to clean up trash buildings for percentage, but also to take down the balloon and pop the lava hound. Another thing they do here, which is interesting, is they break open that wall, which I was going to have my P.E.K.K.A.s do with a rage spell, but since they did it, I didn't need to have them do that. So anyways, the golem or the lava hound pops. I let my raid fizzle out, and then I drop a golem up top instead of bunching them because there was just no. I wanted to save those archers in case I needed them for percentage. Knowing that I was coming in from the top, where I had cleaned up percentage to begin with, I knew percentage was going to be an issue, so I wanted to save troops to sprinkle around the edge as my troops worked their way through the base, so that I made sure I got to that 50%. So I dropped the golems, I dropped the P.E.K.K.A.s, and then my heroes, and I staggered the golems because all those defenses are bunched up, and I didn't want my golems to bunch up, but it seemed like it kind of happened anyways, and we'll see how it plays out. I freeze over here that 2 Teslas and the Inferno and the Queen, and I raged everybody. The wizards took out the Queen, which is nice. Under rage, they do so much damage. Poison on the Skellies. Another rage for the Queen. King's working his way down the right with a few golems. He had a P.E.K.K.A. with him, but he just got taken out. And here you're going to see, I'm going to start sprinkling around the right side where the King, the P.E.K.K.A., and all the golems are, because there's a whole lot of trash buildings over there for some free percentage. I raged the Queen in the middle, use her ability. She was going down really fast. There's a lot of DPS right there in the center. And there goes those wizards for the cleanup. King's still working his way around the edge. And I avoided most of those traps right up till the end, which was nice. That's one thing, the reason I went from the top, where I cleaned up percentage in the first place. Normally I'd come over here to the west side and attack from there, but all the traps were set on the west to south side. So I wanted to make sure I avoided as much of that as possible, being as this is pretty much a maxed out base, minus the walls, and I think the heroes weren't quite 40-40, or maybe they were, but mine are Town Hall 9 levels, so they just don't have the tanking ability that level 40 heroes do. So I'm going to get these last 2 buildings over here on the edge. I like to make sure that I can do that, just in case I ever come across a raid where I need that to happen. I want to have that skill that I can assess a base and say, this is free percentage. So 64%. Now, that's their number 21, and believe it or not, I hit their 42. It's almost the same base, but this one, in my opinion, is a whole lot harder, and it's because of the single target Inferno at the top. So I come again from the top, the same place to lure. The tricky thing with this is the clan castles moved in more towards the center, so that lure is actually not going to bring them out. And I brought a hog with me just in case because I tested the radius and scouting, and it looked really iffy. So I brought a hog to draw it out as soon as I let the clan castle out because I just didn't want to take any chances. And again, all the traps on this base are from the west to the south side of the town hall, so I want to attack from the north to the east side to avoid as many of those traps as possible and still be able to get to town hall. Other than that, it's pretty much the same. Golem, and the hog to get the thing, to get the CC. And then wizards, I think I put 5 down because I really wanted to make sure that that lava hound popped. I was really worried that it wasn't going to go down, but everything seemed to work out fine. They even broke open the wall again, which is a really weird phenomena. I'm wondering if it's because it's not actually a 3D game, it's a 2D game, and the lava hound is technically sitting right where the wall is, and the splash damage is doing damage to both him and the wall. But who knows? Anyway, so there goes some wizards, and I'm going to lay down some to clear out those camps so my P.E.K.K.A.s and my heroes don't wander down that right side. So I sent in the P.E.K.K.A.s, the heroes, and witches this time. I took witches because of that single Inferno, and I tried to stagger my golems even more because last time they didn't stagger enough the way I wanted them to. And here we go. P.E.K.K.A.s in, heroes in, king down the right side again, queen down the left side, P.E.K.K.A.s going after the queen. I decided not to freeze that single target Inferno on the second pass because those 2 Teslas popped up down there at the bottom with that multi, and I still had a lot of wizards and witches left, so I went ahead and froze that instead. King again working down his right side. I'm going to clean up those buildings over there because it just makes the most sense. And even though he goes down, there's still a golem and 2 golemites over there, so they left a lot of those defenses distracted so my wizards could take them out. Put the poison down because there were skellies left that ended up taking out the queen. And it's nothing but cleanup now, so I'm just going to hit the 2 times and let it play out. And again, that archer on the left side is going to go after that dark elixir pump and bag me this raid. Ends up being 55%. So that's the evolution of the open base. There's a lot of, maybe 4 or 5 variations, I guess, a lot of variations of this base, but you really have to break down. It makes it easier in war that you can scout it, but in farming, I just try to avoid the traps, and if I can avoid the queen or an inferno for the 50%, I do. And in war, that doesn't usually happen, but in farming, usually the heroes are offset pretty far that you can choose a side and take on the king or the queen, or, you know, and the traps on farming bases usually spread out better than this. But anyways, alright guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. I'm out.